Those two budget drivers, special education tuition and utilities, account for a $644,784 increase year over year. That represents 1.43% of our total budget increase. So said another way, without these two drivers, both, again, beyond our control, our budget increase actually would have been under 3%. Special education tuition, in particular, increased by almost $500,000 from FY23 to FY24. Most of that is due to a decision by a state agency called the OSD, the Operational Services Division. Historically, in the last 20 years, say, their annual increases are what you could expect, 2%, 3%, right? Rarely beyond that level. In FY24, they approved a 14% increase for private special education tuition. It is a huge issue right now in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It impacts every single school district in the state. It's a budget driver, and in some cases, a very negative budget driver that's going to lead to some really adverse impacts to staffing levels and program levels all around the state. You know, for us, like I said, it's almost a $500,000 hit. So in the past 2 fiscal years, we've used a significant portion of our ESSER funding for staff. We've been able to hire 8.0 FTE, 8 intervention specialist teachers. They provide direct services to students who needed intervention post-pandemic. They've been wonderful. We also hired 7.0 intervention paraprofessionals, as well as a host of counseling positions, which have been extremely important. In this budget, and there's a reason I highlighted it in red, the FY24 budget does eliminate the intervention paraprofessionals. That was always our plan, and we've just arrived at fiscal year 24. So our plan all along, when ESSER 2 and 3 was developed, was to have these positions for 2 years and then move on from them. They've provided great service to our students, but we do need to move on for them because we don't have sustainable funding. Our goal has always been to have these intervention specialist teachers for 3 full years. The final year, in theory, would be next year, fiscal year 24. So we are still using ESSER funding in the FY24 budget to pay for those intervention specialist teachers. And then next year, a year from now, we'll have a decision to make. We had an adjustment counselor that splits time at AMVET and Roosevelt. We have an adjustment counselor at the Martin School, an adjustment counselor at the middle school, and then we have a piece of the school psychologist that provides district-wide service. We thought it was an absolute top priority to find a way to permanently fund those positions. In order to do that, and in order to lessen our reliance on ESSER, we needed to find a way to pay for those with other positions within our existing operating budget, if that makes sense. So we are recommending in our budget to eliminate a handful of other positions and reallocate that funding to make the 3.2 FTE counselors permanent in our budget. So we're actually recommending eliminating 6.5 FTE worth of positions to pay for these counselors. So that would, in effect, make them permanent positions.